Hello everyone, my name is Caleb Magnus and I'm recording this video as part of my EDIT 5340 Emerging Technologies course at Texas A&M International University. The purpose of this video is to review a teaching model, and for this video I have chosen the flipped classroom, which in my opinion is actually a subset of the blended learning model, which is where you have instruction that's face-to-face and also virtual. But that being said, let's jump into what the flipped classroom is. What is flipped classroom? A flipped classroom is an approach that's technology-supported pedagogy, that consists of two components: direct computer-based individual instruction outside the classroom through video lectures, and interactive group learning activities inside the classroom. So both of these things are key pieces that are important in defining what a flipped classroom is. Key features of a flipped classroom. It's not just pre-class study. College professors have been doing this for years, assigning reading beforehand, and then the students come to class prepared. That's not a flipped classroom. A flipped classroom is having the actual instruction, having the actual lecture type material given to them prior to coming. Students must receive audio or video instructions prior to class. So whether that's the teachers created or they've curated from somewhere on the web, they have to have that before coming to class. And then class time is spent on group activities or problem solving. So those interactive features are not there. So those are the key features of flipped classroom. 2, benefits to a flipped classroom. Okay, so benefits. A teacher can create a more engaging lesson by using a flipped classroom. This means that rather than having to spend the class time lecturing the students, if they've created that beforehand or they've curated those videos or audio files that the students are going to listen to, their class time now allows for them to do those group activities, do one-on-one things with the students, and help them with the real-world problem solving instead of just lecturing. Students get to develop independent learning skills. This is especially important because rather than having the material given to them by the teacher, they have to be responsible for their own learning to make sure they've watched that material or listened to it beforehand. Students who are absent don't fall behind. Also key, rather than having the lecture in the classroom where students might miss it, if it's sent home or it's always accessible by the students, if they're absent, they don't miss that instruction. And lastly, students find class time more interesting. Super important. They're no longer being lectured at. They have that class time that's focused on projects, and so they find it more interesting. Potential issues, lack of student understanding. This is the reverse of that, student-focused, individual learning at home. If the student does not understand the material that's being presented to them at home, you're not there providing that instruction, and so there may be a lack of understanding, and you don't have a way to correct that in the moment. The student can come back and get it, but they don't have it in the moment. There's disengagement from videos. A lot of teachers struggle with knowing exactly how to create the videos or find the videos that work for the kids. If they're long, just like you teaching for a long time, your students are going to disengage. They're also going to disengage from videos. Limitation of teacher knowledge kind of ties in with those disengagement piece. If the teachers don't really grasp how to do a flipped classroom, they're going to struggle to create it. And so there are ways around that, but it's a potential issue. Technology limitations is probably the last one. If the students don't physically have access to the technology they need to either hear or view the information at home before they come to class, you're never going to be able to get a flipped classroom off the ground because you just don't have that technology. Lastly, how educational technology fits into this, it ties into my previous slide. Video or audio creation tools. Not every flipped classroom relies on the teacher creating things, but most of them do. And if the teacher is not able to use those creation tools, they're not going to be able to do a flipped classroom. So video and audio creation tools are extremely important and very big educational technology pieces. Second, mobile computing devices for students. Like I said before, if the students don't have the devices at home, they're not going to be able to utilize the flipped classroom. Lastly, the use of digital audio video hosting service. YouTube, Vimeo, something for you to house your lessons that you've created so that your students can view them at home. Super important, and another big piece that educational technology fits in. Lastly, got my references up on the screen for you to look at. That being said, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We talked about, again, what flipped classroom is, the potential benefits, potential issues, and where educational technology fits into this. Thanks.